Elon Musk is at the center of many innovations in several fields. He has innovated extensively in the EV space traveling, and human-machine interfacing industry using his multiple companies. Now Musk has turned his attention to raw computing, the backbone of almost every modern tech. After years of research and development, Musk has unveiled a new quantum computer. What is a quantum computer? What does Musk's quantum computer offer? And how does it affect you personally? Join us as we explore how Elon Musk finally reveals the new 2022 quantum computer. The world of tech changes so rapidly that you may be left behind if you so much as blink. Everything is faster, better, more efficient, and more connected. However, many of these breakthroughs may have been impossible if not for the advancement in the computing power these devices are capable of. Many times the innovations are powered by a powerful back-end that handles monster calculations per second. The next stage of innovation in the computing world is in quantum computing. However, what exactly is quantum computing? Quantum computing is a new generation of technology that involves a type of computer 158 million times faster than the most sophisticated supercomputer we have in the world today. It is a device so powerful that it could do in 4 minutes what it would take a traditional supercomputer 10,000 years to accomplish. For some problems, turns out supercomputers aren't that super. For decades, our computers have all been built around the same design. Whether it is the huge machines at NASA or your laptop at home, they're all essentially just glorified calculators, but crucially, they can only do one thing at a time. The key to the way all computers work is that they process and store information made of binary digits called bits. These bits only have two possible values, a 1 or a 0. It's these numbers that create binary code, which a computer needs to read to carry out a specific task. Quantum computing is based on quantum theory, which is a branch of physics. This branch deals with the tiny world of atoms and the smaller or subatomic particles inside them. The thing is, when you delve into this minuscule world, the laws of physics are very different from what we see around us. For instance, quantum particles can exist in multiple states at the same time. This occurrence is known as superposition. Quantum computing uses this thing called quantum bits, qubits for short, instead of bits. While a traditional bit can only be a 1 or a 0, a qubit can be a 1, a 0, or it can be both at the same time. As such, a quantum computer does not have to wait for one process to end before it can begin another. It can do them at the same time. So how does this work out with real-life problems? Let's imagine we had lots of doors that were all locked except for one, and we have been tasked with finding out which one was open. Our conventional computer would keep trying each door one after the other until it found the one which was unlocked. It might take 5 minutes, it might take 1,000,000 years, depending on how many doors there were. However, a quantum computer could try all the doors at once. This is what makes them so much faster. Apart from superposition, another property of quantum particles that makes quantum computing groundbreaking is what is called entanglement. When two quantum particles are entangled, they form a connection to each other no matter how far apart they are. When you alter one, the other responds the same way, even if they're thousands of miles apart. You may call it telepathy, but Einstein had a more colorful name for it, calling it spooky action at a distance. There is another potential problem with conventional computers that quantum computing solves: size. You probably know Moore's law, which famously says computing power doubles roughly every 2 years. What the law doesn't mention is that in order for the law to be true, engineers have to fit more and more transistors onto a circuit board. Spare a thought for those poor engineers slaving away to make Moore's law possible. A transistor is like a microscopic light switch that can be either off or on. This is how a computer processes a 0 or a 1 that you find in binary code. So basically, to solve more complex problems, you need more of these transistors. But try as you may to make them smaller, there is a limit to how many you can fit onto a circuit board. This means sooner or later traditional computers are going to be as smart as we can possibly make them, and Moore's law will become obsolete. That is where quantum machines come to the rescue. Quantum computers are better at predicting things. Standard computers can do what they are told well enough if they are fed the right computer program by a human. However, when you use them to predict outcomes, the limitations start to show, and it becomes clear they are not so smart after all. This is why your weather forecast is not always accurate. You sometimes get drenched even though the weather person said you could leave home without your umbrella. There are too many variables, too many things changing too quickly for any conventional computer to keep up. Quantum computing is also excellent for traffic prediction applications or modeling. Because of its ability to make analyses and predictions at breakneck speeds, quantum computing can handle millions and billions of variables that are constantly changing. Because of these limitations, there are some computations that an ordinary computer may never be able to solve, or it might take 1 billion years, which we humans don't have. But a quantum computer is so fast, almost infinitely so, that it could respond to changing information quickly and examine a limitless number of outcomes and permutations simultaneously, according to research by Rigetti Computing. Quantum computers are also relatively small because they do not rely on transistors like traditional machines. They also consume comparatively less power, meaning they could in theory be better for the environment. There is a race to see who will push the tech further the most, involving some of the biggest companies, best brains, and even governments. One of the players you may not have heard of is D-Wave, which has built a device called the Advantage. It is a quantum computer designed for business use, according to the company's press release. D-Wave said it has been designed with a new processor architecture with over 5,000 qubits and 15-way qubit connectivity, which it said enables companies to solve their largest and most complex business problems. The firm claims the machine enables customers to develop and run real-world, in-production quantum applications at scale in the cloud. It also claimed the Advantage is 30 times faster and delivers equal or better solutions 94% of the time compared to its previous generation system. Neuralink is the dream company of Elon Musk, which tries to connect the human brain with the internet. The goal of the company is to solve important brain and spine problems with a seamlessly implanted device. Many people will have some kind of neurological problem one day, so the company aims to prepare a multi-purpose brain device that is both reliable and affordable. Neuralink wants to solve problems related to memory, depression, insomnia, hearing loss, anxiety, and many more. The process includes correcting electrical signals sent by neurons into the brain. What it does is a deep brain stimulation where the robot puts electrodes into your brain. The link, which shall be inserted at the top of your skull, will be the size of a large coin. Clinical studies on humans for implantation are yet to be performed, but in the live session, Musk has shown the brain-machine interface implanted within a pig named Gertrude. The human brain consists of thousands of neurons firing all the time in response to the electrical signals when we see, hear, move, talk, walk, and even think. Whenever a neuron is fired from the electrical signals, there is an electromagnetic field created. The Neuralink, when inserted into the brain, is going to tap into these electromagnetic fields. It will interpret the data in either ones or zeros to be used in the digital world. However, using quantum computing, the computation required will be vastly sped up, making Neuralink even better. Neuralink will use an advanced robot to insert the electrodes inside the brain through a quick and uncomplicated surgery. The electrodes will help in recording and decoding information. The complete process works through neural stimulation. It is well known that electric current activates the muscles and nerves in our body. Neuralink tries to create a simulation in the temporal sequence across the many electrodes, which makes it possible to create patterns of activity and evoke the desired result. The electrodes inserted into the brain will be able to understand electrical signal and then translate it into an algorithm. The Neuralink chip, known as the N1 chip, reads brain signals, amplifies and digitizes, and then processes them. The company has claimed that we will be able to control basic devices like computers, smartphones, and maybe even type out thoughts with the help of Neuralink. Let's hear your thoughts on quantum computing in the comments section below.